and I'm supposed to be live. Okay. Hi, it's RV Lady. Yeah, I'm here. I'm no longer in Mexico. It simply became too hot, and though I was heading south on Highway 4, yeah, that road was really, really bad. If you hear that, it's raining. I'm in the desert where I usually go. And it just started raining about 15 minutes ago. It was not predicted, per usual, because the weather people out here don't know how to tell the weather. Okay, so I'm sitting around doing nothing, so I thought I'd make a video. When I was down in Mexico, I made a video on hair, and long story short, I used the technology got away from me. How's that? That works, doesn't it? Um, let's see, what else? I was in Mexico. It was fine. It got too hot. It was too hard on my generator to run the air conditioner, not to mention really expensive. The peso is pretty much even with the dollar, and there is no bargains to be had anywhere. I started out in Tijuana. I went down to Ensenada. I probably already told you all this. And then I cut across to Highway 3. Please don't ever, ever drive on that road. And the potholes were, imagine your truck tires, and as deep and as wide. And it was 2 lanes. So there was no getting away from them. I ended up with my stairs, my electric step stair things, are sideways. They hit so bad and so many times that now they're just kind of sideways, and they don't come in, obviously, because they're sideways. Both windows on my RV in the front are broken, and I had those replaced before, so I know what that costs. I had full coverage insurance. Let's see what else. The rack and pinion steering broke on the front of the RV. The windshield on my CRV is broken. What else? God, there was something else. I don't know. But needless to say, I was going to go back over to the west coast of Baja, and ended up deciding not to, because I mean my vehicle was already really damaged, and I did have full coverage. But the reason being that uh, yeah, the roads were crap, and so I can't do crappy roads. That's just way too stressful. Oh, it took out my air conditioners. That's what it did. It was just too hot and too muggy, and the air conditioner in the RV couldn't keep up. So anyway, I ended up driving back to the United States and parked in the desert where I. Oh, the other thing about Mexico. Oh God, I should tell you guys all these things. First of all, the meat is so much better. Just in case you ever wanted to know that, the vegetables are horrid. The what is that called? Gasoline. Okay, the same as in the United States. I know I keep moving this thing around. And what else? The men. Oh my God. I was warned to be to be conscientious about the men. Anyway, long story short, people would come up to my RV all the time, and that was okay. I didn't mind. They were coming up for like matches or lighters or whatever, because they wanted to. They go out, they collect clams, they come back, they cook them, and so anyway, I was sitting out one day. I mean, every day I sat out, but My tan is gone. I had a great tan. I had a great tan. I haven't been tan in years, but now I know why my doctors tell me to stay out of the sun. It really, the medication that I take really makes my skin dysfunctional. So anyway, this guy rolls up in a kind of like a Suzuki, but whatever the other one's called, and um, he comes 3 times. And he, the first time he came, it was because his cell phone was dying, dead, and so he couldn't listen to his music as he drove up and down the beach, endlessly burning fossil fuels. So anyway, he came the next day, and then he came the next day. Now let me describe him. He said he was Canadian and Mexican. Uh huh. And he looked very Canadian. Um, no dark skin. Well, he was really tan. But anyway, he showed up the second time. Well, the first time he showed up fully dressed. The second time he showed up, no shirt. And I would say he was in his middle 50s. He had no problem telling me about his life, and I'm sure they were all lies. But anyway, it doesn't matter. The third day, he shows up with just a shirt on, no pants, penis hanging out. Yes, it was interesting. It made me laugh. I mean, I looked at him. I said, "Do you have no pants on?" And he said, "No, I want to be free. I want whatever." Yeah. What's wrong with the world? So many things. So anyway, the third time and last time he came, he was, prancing around, showing me all his junk. And finally, I said to him after, I don't know, 5 minutes, I said, "So you're not going to put pants on?" And he said no, and he's walking towards one of my chairs. I set several chairs out to make sure that people think I'm not alone. So he starts to sit in one of my chairs, and I said, "No, you are not putting your junk on my chairs. There is no way." So he pranced around for another couple of minutes and talking about nothing. And so I just I looked at him because it was just stupid. And uh, I said, "I'm not sure what you're trying to do here, but if you think I'm interested in that," pointing at his junk, no, I am not. I couldn't be further from wanting to see it any further. I just don't. Thanks, though. You can go. So, anyway, at some point during our conversation, I did mention that I was 67 years old. I think I'm 67. I could be 68. Not really sure. Don't really care. But um, I, I had mentioned that I was old, and which is a state of mind. And and I said, "And you can go." And I think that, I mean, the look on his face was, "You're how old?" It was that kind of look. And I think I look every ounce of 60 something. But, and I'm probably just flattering myself. But long and the short of it is he finally took off. And, I was finished with that. Um, but the trip back to the United States was horrendous because it was so hot and air conditioners were not working. And so when I went through the border, the gal who did the border, whatever that is they do, she asked me several questions. I gave her answers. Um, they could really use signage there because it was very difficult to figure out where I was supposed to go with this RV with a toad. I figured out where all the cars were supposed to go. But anyway, I had my own lane. It was very fabulous. I didn't have to wait in line at all. But anyway, I told the woman when she was going to come in and inspect, I said, If you think it's hot out there, wait until you come in here because it's going to be 20 degrees hotter. And she just kind of looked at me and said, oh, it's okay. I don't need to do an inspection. It's fine. So now you know how to smuggle drugs across the border, in case you're interested. But since then, I have been here in the desert where it's been approximately between 100 and 115 almost every day. What else? My awning is junk now. I have to replace my awning. I don't care. But I'm not sure what I'm doing, but I now have a new 5-year plan. And my 5-year plan is I'm going to stop doing this after 5 years. And I'm going to continue to travel. I'm just not going to do it this way. Maybe taking trains. I'm not too excited about taking planes. But the other thing that I did this week, speaking of airplanes, is I signed up with the Red Cross to go over to Hawaii to help pick up trash or whatever it is that they need me to do. So I told them that I can do that. I can hold people's hands and, whatever they need me to do. Nothing shocks me. So whatever has to happen, happens. And even if it's, security, I can do that. I can hit people with stuff. Anyway, other than that, been writing, hanging out in my air conditioner. I am parked at, and where I always come is an American Legion. And I am a member. And they have 30 amp, 50 amp water hookup and sewer hookup. Okay, now I always camp in the 30 amp. It doesn't have sewer, but big deal. I parked in the 30 amp and plugged in. And within, I don't know, 3 days, everything was failing. And what was happening was I was parked between two RVs that were 50 amp and pulling all the power out of the section I was in. Fried my cord, the cord that you plug into the power. Yeah, fried that. And fried the pedestal as well, because the pedestal couldn't take it either. Anyway, I ended up moving over to a 50 amp site. And then I have one of those, surge protector things that you plug in, and it tells you whether or not the signal is or the flow is fine or whatever the hell it is. I rarely use it. Anyway, so I plugged into the 50 amp and then I plugged my 30 amp into that. And so at least I have something protecting me now. The thing that was happening was I was tripping when I was plugged into the 30 amp, I would continue to trip the circuit breaker. And so I replaced the circuit breaker thinking that maybe that's a problem. But lo and behold, no, that wasn't the problem. The problem was the power that was coming to that pedestal and then eventually into my RV. So anyway, I moved, and just in case any of you are like me, and you're in Arizona or Nevada or wherever you are. If you ever want to come to California, this is actually a pretty good location where I am, and I pay by the month. And for the site that I'm in now, it's $500 a month. For the site that I was in that was 30 amp with no sewer, that is, what is it? I think it's $350 a month. And and it's nice, and it's got trees, and it's flat and level. Jeez, level is just such a, don't ever buy an RV without levelers, self-levelers. Let's see, what else? So anyway, I have to get all those repairs done. The reason I'm here is because my mechanic is here, and I use Tito's all the time, and I adore them. I've been going to them for, I don't know, since he opened the business, which has to be over 10 years ago. And they always take real good care of me. And, I can actually question them about their prices and say, really? No, I'm not paying enough. So anyway, oh, speaking of which, yeah, there's a significant repair that needs to be done to the Honda CRV, and it's an ignition switch thing. I don't know what it is, but anyway, you have to take the entire steering wheel off. And I'm like, really, really? So I called down and said how much, and he said it was going to be like $300, and I said, okay, I'll try to do it myself. Maybe I haven't done it, but I could. Let's see what else is going on. Still writing like there's no tomorrow. There is the internet here too, by the way. Good internet. Okay, fair internet. It comes and goes. If the wind's blowing, you don't have internet here. If it's raining, internet usually goes way down. It's the entire town. It's controlled by AT&T, and I swear to God, they shut it off and turn it back on. Shut it off, turn it back on. So let's see what else is going on with me. Nothing. I got nothing going on. It's not like you can go out and run and hike and whatever. You can't do that. It's really all you can do to get from your car into the place where you're going to buy groceries or post office or whatever the necessities are. It's not, you know, conducive to being outdoors. Even though I must admit, I have one of those blow up bathtubs, and of course, I'm here with water. And so I have filled that up and I go out there twice a day, not during the hot time, but in the morning, at night. And when I say morning, I mean like 5 o'clock. When I say night, I mean like 10:30. And skinny dip in my pool or bathtub, whatever you want to call it. And I have Epsom salts in there. So it's not interesting for the bugs. And I find that it is beneficial to my once previously tanned skin. And what happens to my skin is it blisters, and but it's not like a sun blister, it's like a scabby blister. I don't know how to explain it. But anyway, it's from the medication. And I have not had this trouble before. So, you know, thank you, heart attack. Thank you, getting old. Kidding. Okay, let's see. What else? There's nothing else going on. There really isn't. What do I have anything else to talk about? No, not really. I am spending my time looking for property up in Northern California because what I would like to do is go up there and park on something I own that's fenced in and search for gold or pan for gold or just run around looking at places where I think gold is. It would be so funny if I actually found any. Okay, let's see. That's all I got. Nothing else. Oh, I got to thank Camper Van Kevin. And I need to thank him because I switched over to that, um, what is it called? Carnivore diet, where all you do is eat meat. And I got to say, the inflammation in my body has gone down. I mean, not for the same reasons he's doing it, but the inflammation in my body has gone down. I'm not sure that it's not helping my skin and bones. I'm drinking bone broth. I have no idea whether or not that works. And it's kind of the only thing that I can say that it's disruptive is that it makes me feel so energetic that I'm sleeping 2 hours a night. Now, according to my cardiologist, that would not be acceptable. And so I am working on having my last meal at 3 o'clock in the afternoon because truly, there are days that I don't sleep at all. Like last night, didn't sleep at all. But the rain's over, but it's still cloudy. It's fun. And oh, the hurricane! I guess I could tell you about the hurricane that hit San Diego County. Yeah, it was nothing. I mean, it might have been something in Palm Springs for 2 blocks, but and sure, the soil shifts around, and you do have flash flooding, which is basically the runoff from the mountains that you don't see coming. But all in all, it was very nice. It rained for probably, I don't know, 30 hours very gently, and it was nice because we don't get that kind of rain here. They do, the song, it never rains in California, it pours. Yeah, that's pretty much what we get here. It pours for, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours, and then everybody's freaking out, and all those people who have bald tires are freaking out, and all the oil that's dripped off all the vehicles that run through the state. It basically it gets wet, and it's like driving on black ice. It's treacherous, and then put bald tires with that, and hey, accidents. So generally, and all the times that I've lived here, if it's raining, I don't go drive anywhere. I'll walk, but I won't drive. I guess that's it. I don't really have anything else to say. Isn't there supposed to be like a comment section? Can you do that? Can you comment on this? I don't know. I don't really know how anything works anymore. I'm learning about AI. So far, it doesn't seem to have much use in my world, but it's I can see where it would be beneficial for people who are stupid, but and believe everything that they read on the internet. I'm so awful. I really am. I'm really awful. But other than that, I'm done. You guys can watch this later. I guess there are 5 of you watching it now, something like that. I don't know, but it's been 22 minutes, and yes, I still talk to Nana's Joy, and hi Nana, and they're doing good. She and her husband are doing fine. They bought a place in Texas, and way down south, I think kind of west of San Antonio, south, not quite to Brownsville, but in that area right there. And they bought some property, and so they're selling their RV or have already sold it, not sure. And they're just going to travel back and forth from home state to, their state, their other home state. I don't know how to do it. So they're going to do half and half. But, it really got me thinking about buying property. And I did look for property in Baja, Mexico, but they're insane. The the places are dumps, basically, and they don't have water. You have to buy a big giant tank and have somebody come fill it up with water all the time. And then they want Southern California prices for everything. Now, if you're unfamiliar with Southern California prices, just Google it because it's a lot of friggin' money. And the roads are horrible. The stores are, the grocery stores are, they're grocery stores. Everybody pretends they don't speak English just to mess with you because you don't speak Spanish. It's just, it would just be too difficult. And just as expensive as, I don't know, buying a house in the Caribbean. And quite frankly, I'd rather buy a house in the Caribbean and buy a sailboat and see how fast it takes me to kill myself doing that. But I am here, I am safe. The hurricane or the tropical storm or whatever it ended up being was relatively nothing. And I mean, it was pleasant. There was no wind. I was in the eye of the hurricane and no wind at all. If it was, I don't know, 2 miles an hour. Not a big deal. I think I had my awning out. Now, today we are getting the tropical moisture from, down south somewhere. And that is causing us to have clouds and partly sunny and or partly cloudy, however you want to look at that. And it's nice. And we had rain. Very exciting. Okay, well, that's it for me. I wish I could chat back at you, but I can't figure out how to do that. So you can just send me a note. I'll respond, I hope. Even though the last time I did like this cavalcade of responding, it was like people, oh, coyote, people, uh, it was like 2 years. It's so odd. But honestly, I didn't even know that they wrote. So I thought it was better late than never. Okay, everyone, take care. Remember, smile and be brave because why not? Um, and hopefully, this big giant mess that we have made of the world will force us to fix it. Yeah. Okay. Take care. I'll talk to you whenever. Bye. Mm, okay.